What's up guys, Americana back with another video. If the market hasn't topped yet, the current Ethereum priced in Bitcoin level could be a trigger for alt season. I get it, the bears are loud right now, but humor me for a second and let's actually look at what this chart is saying. So let's get into the video. All right, my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful people. This should be a relatively short, simple, and sweet video, so make sure you stick to the end. Yeah, let's get into it. So Ethereum priced in Bitcoin. What does this mean? If this chart is going up, this means Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin. And if it's going down, it means Bitcoin's performance is crushing Ethereum's. This can work a few different ways. This is in here, Bitcoin going up. Ethereum is still pumping, but it's relatively flat to stable. And then this is kind of your capitulation style move in Ethereum price in Bitcoin into, March, April, beginning of the year situation. If you guys were around for that was pretty painful. But yeah, just to kind of outline, going up, Ethereum outpacing Bitcoin is good. It means the market is in a very liquid, semi-euphoric phase where altcoins in here were outperforming very well against Bitcoin. So if we can continue this going higher, that will likely be good for our altcoins, for the market in general, and confluence of, hey, the top can't be in because we're seeing altcoins outperform Bitcoin, and that is not something that happens in bear markets. So some additional confluence there, but let's go now that you understand why we want this chart to go up, let's look and see if there's any reasons for this chart to be appreciating in price, or really it's a ratio, but you see what I'm saying. Anyways, all right, first up is Ethereum, right? From this impulsive move here, right, has pulled back to its 0.5 fib. Really, any of these fib levels is a good place for things to pull back into. But with last week being the liquidation, that was kind of its best shot to go as low as it's going to go 2 weeks ago now, sorry. To go as low as it's going to go, and we kind of only got a pullback to the 0.5 fib. All right, typically when I mentioned in other videos this week, if we get a pullback to this, red Fibonacci, we would be targeting this red one to the upside. What does that kind of line up with, right? Is a nice little resistance area, and we can kind of reassess what's happening to the market at that point in time. But pulling back to this fib level, strong confluence for a higher, especially with the other things that we're going to talk about in this video. Okay, so I'm going to leave the fib on, but you guys can see on here I have the SuperTrend track currently on, right? Things kind of tend to stay within these trends for a while, and we are in a strong bull trend right now with it being green. Haven't even had to fully back test it yet, like we did, kind of in here or in here, even in there, right there. Haven't even fully back tested yet, but pulled back into fibs, and we do have, momentum even on the weekly time frame still, for continuation higher. This is not behavior that you would see if you're in a bear market. This thing is going to be rolling over, or at the very least consolidating in a bear market. Okay, so this right here is our price action from last bear market, really on Ethereum and total 2, right? Once we were able to I know we were breaking down here, but once we were able to stabilize in here, that's when we could actually find bottoms and things like that. And then if we look at 2018, this is kind of more so what you'd expect is, in a macro downtrend on Ethereum price and Bitcoin during a bear market. So at the very least, we're going to see consolidation, and at the most, we're going to see downtrend. But why would we ever see an uptrend? Only happens during bull markets. It's not a dynamic that you're going to see show up when we're topping out. All right, in addition, I guess I will remove these fibs in here real quick so I can look at this a little bit cleaner. All right, I will even remove this super trend for you guys. But what are we working on as well? Flipping a key monthly level. All right, obviously found a top in here, found support, closed below, retested, dumped, closed in / not above, dumped, right? Closed above, couldn't confirm, dumped, right? Finally able to get above. That's when we have our alt season. Had a shot to retest and hold down here, didn't, close below, and now we're working on reclaiming on the monthly time frame. Again, pointing to confluence that, if we can reclaim this, we're definitely in for some more legs to the upside, which, as we've shown, is going to be good for your altcoins. So there's a lot of behavior and things that we do not see coming out of Ethereum priced in Bitcoin, coming out of the altcoin market when we are not in a bear market. All right, guys, so the point of this video here is kind of just outlining one of our more macro indicators for the altcoin market, for Ethereum's performance, but also using it to point to the fact that, hey, guys, if we're seeing bullish dynamics or we're seeing trend continuation as a possibility in this chart, this adds confluence that we cannot be in a bear market because it's behaving in a way that it doesn't behave during a bear market. I would be insane to get on here and say, hey guys, we're in a bear market, but I think Ethereum and altcoins are going to outperform Bitcoin still. Doesn't make any sense. Those two things do not go together at all. So hopefully this chart gave you a little bit of insight. You can use this same data. I chose to look at Ethereum price and Bitcoin chart to view the altcoin market through that lens, but you can literally look at any variety of things to kind of give you some insight to the altcoin market. And I guarantee you that you'll be seeing dynamics that don't show up during bear markets. I know it's a little bit weird to use altcoins and their performance and relativity to Bitcoin as confluence that a bear market isn't here, but with Total 2 still at those highs, it's just something that I can't overlook, and it's something that I'm going to lean on, that if we see these things continue in the altcoin market, if we see these dynamics to continue, and $98,000 is holding, and we're finding a potential bottom on Bitcoin, then I am not going to be calling for a bear market at that point. As always, of course, if any of this changes, I will be on here ready to tell you. We'll be talking about those dynamics, but really the back end dynamics of everything we've been talking about, even through 3 liquidations, even through the largest liquidation in history, has not really changed yet, or has not materially or substantially changed, even with pullbacks and consolidations that we've seen in various charts. But that's it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I appreciate all the continued support. Make sure you keep liking, subscribing, commenting. Always down to help you guys if you have any questions. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.